Nobody watching this body cam footage could have predicted what was about to happen. What began as a routine police encounter quickly took an unexpected turn when a single decision set off a chain of events that officers would struggle to contain. Within hours, hundreds of law enforcement personnel would be involved in a large-scale manhunt, all focused on finding one man.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Your tags for your car.
They're in the... probably at the house.
Huh?
They're probably at the house.
Probably?
Yeah.
Is this your car?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? And here's your driver's license and the registration.
My license is in my...
I'm sorry?
My license is in my bag.
Okay.
Can I grab it?
Yeah.
After the incident, a nearby resident heard the gunshots and rushed toward the officers. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, she quickly called 911 to request additional support.
They did say that they were shot. Unknown about a GSW at this point.
Right here.
The helmet is on. They're not responding at all, and they appear to have a pulse.
So there is never responding. Go to the street.
Isaiah!
Hey.
Isaiah! Can you hear us, brother?
Can you hear me?
Isaiah, can you hear
Can you
us?
hear us? Hey, listen to me. Can you hear me?
We didn't.
No.
We heard the shot, and then I was working right there in my house in a black truck with a blue truck.
You guys have a camera?
Drove up that way. We don't have a camera.
Can we get this off? I got nowhere. I don't have anything. No idea what happened. I don't know if I can't tell if he's breathing or not.
Get them back. Have them scoot back.
I can't tell if he's breathing. I got a lot coming out.
Hey, get my AED. Nagel. AED.
AED now.
Don't pierce him by his foot.
Got it. Give me somebody to hold his head. Yes, he looks to the face.
Officer Cordero's body camera footage abruptly came to an end. Shortly afterward, the 32-year-old deputy was pronounced dead. His killing sent shockwaves through the community and launched an enormous manhunt for the person responsible. As investigators worked to piece together what had happened, they reviewed Deputy Cordero's body cam footage and cross-referenced it with nearby flock camera recordings. The evidence led them to 44-year-old William Mackay, a man with alleged ties to an outlaw motorcycle gang in Southern California and a lengthy history of violent criminal offenses.
THP, he stabbed their dog about a year ago.
As officers raced to track Mackay down, a breakthrough came less than 2 hours later. An off-duty officer spotted a vehicle matching his description heading south on Interstate 15. The manhunt was about to enter its next phase.
Now's the time. We're gonna pit him. We gotta pit him.
Chris, are the spikes coming from the shoulder or center divider?
Shoulder, we can't get to the center. It's just the car pulling.
I'm gonna move up and cut this
All
dude off.
right, these are approximately 55, still no traffic, number 1 and 2 lane. All units be advised, there is going to be heavy traffic approaching you. Bearcat coming up behind you guys. Traffic approximately a half a mile, still eastbound, number 3 lane, speed of approximately 55.
Keep an eye out for spikes.
I don't see anybody. I don't see any.
I think he said Golden West. We're up. That's past traffic.
That's going to be approaching heavy traffic. Speeds are approximately 50, number 3 lane.
Let that Bearcat up front.
Stop 6 at Golden Destination.
Older, rock your right or left. Stop 6 are deployed.
See stats.
I don't see him.
There's a guy, he's coming up to him.
What'd he say?
He's coming up to the spikes.
Okay, the vehicle just went over the spikes. Spikes are clear, vehicle still. Number 1 lane, speeds are approximately 25.
McGuire, get behind Shane. Guys behind us, make room for the Bearcat.
The vehicle has flat tires to the rear. The vehicle is approximately going 40 miles an hour in number 1 lane.
McGuire, fall back to number 2. K9 44, the front 2 are deflated. Successful spikes.
Can you guys in the slow lane move left? Bearcat's trying to get through.
The vehicle is number 1 lane approaching. Speeds are approximately 50 miles an hour. You guys, you are approaching heavy traffic to a stop.
Do you see a Bearcat? I do not see a Bearcat.
Oh, here he comes. I think he's going to come up on the right.
So he's got a lane? Yeah, we got a lane.
Yeah, he's got a
Oh,
lane.
it's in the carpool lane. Approaching coming up on heavy traffic, just merging number 2.
He's coming up.
Okay, on the right. We're on the right.
Vehicle just merged from the number 2, number 3. Looks like it's going to be getting off at Riverdale.
Possibly exiting at Riverdale.
Hey, Bearcat's trying to get in front of here.
That's it.
Shane, let that Bearcat in front of you.
McGuire, move.
Watch the FedEx truck.
Got it.
They're all stopped on the left-hand side.
Got it.
That's wrong on A.
Right.
Take all of the north south Riverdale. Bridge number 2 lane.
Northbound Riverdale over the bridge, number 2 lane.
He's heavy traffic and back on the 60 west now.
There's too much congestion here, fellas, but when it's safe to do so, we're going to pit him with the Bearcat.
Freeway, real heavy traffic. He's going to be nailing on the heavy traffic along the shoulder of the on-ramp.
This is going to clear up.
Okay.
Because they're stopping them. They're going to be holding them up here.
Okay, so along the shoulder, continuing 60, about 35 miles per hour, heavy traffic.
Bearcat 3, are you close?
Just past Valley Way, heavy traffic over here. Copy.
He's on the shoulder.
Got it.
He's in the emergency lane on the side of like a retaining wall, paralleling the freeway along Canal, in between Canal and the 60 west now.
He's circling this area. This is where it
Crossing
happened.
over Pacific, approaching Valley.
Or if he's got friendlies here, or...
And still right shoulder of the freeway, 30 miles per hour, heavy traffic. It's going to be going over Pacific here. Next exit is going to be Valley Way in about a half mile.
Can't make it back in the house. No, if he foot bails to a house, based on the totality of the circumstances, we gotta stop him from doing that.
2 lane now, in between a couple lanes, about 40 miles per hour, and traffic's opened up a little bit.
And the trailing units start braking traffic in anticipation of a pit coming soon.
Stand by for a pit.
Approaching Pyrite and Granite Hill.
The Pyrite exit here. Looks like there is some smoking coming out of the rear tire. Just lost the driver's side rear tire.
Make sure our speed's correct before we try that pit. We may be going too fast now.
So here's my passenger front tire.
Front tire.
Got
Lost
it.
another tire.
Okay, just smoke coming from that passenger front tire. He just lost that on the freeway. Passing the Pyrite exit, going towards Pedley exit.
So remember, this turns into a shooting. We're on the right-hand side. Watch your backdrop with the freeway on the left.
Yeah.
We've got this concrete barrier, so it's a good backdrop, but keep your shots low if needed.
Over the bridge at Pyrite, number 1 lane, about 50 miles per hour, and light traffic.
So he's got rear left, rear passenger tires good, and looks like the front driver's side tires are about to go.
About 50 miles per hour, moving into the number 3 lane now. Light traffic.
This dude is a danger to all these poor people up here ahead. He's armed.
Okay, well, looks like you have light traffic all the way up to the 60. No, in between the carpool and number 1 lane, light traffic.
Starting to slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
50.
It looks like number 2 lane. Speeds are about 50 still, and light traffic.
Romero and Ennis, you guys try to stay on the right side of the Bearcat. Dave, myself, and Segura will stay on the left side.
About 60 miles per hour and very light traffic. They got the other side of the freeway shut down traffic.
Dude, how much longer can that truck go on?
It's the tires. We need one more tire. It's got the left side still.
Our main pursuit effort consists of about 7 units plus canines at Bearcat.
A few cars that entered the freeway at this on-ramp, but other than that, no traffic. 60 westbound, number 2 lane, about 50 miles per hour.
If he falls into pit speed, we can pit him on this off-ramp if it's possible.
It's like entering the 15 off-ramp. I'll advise north or south here in a second.
It's going 15 south.
All right.
15 south.
It's better than 15 north.
now. Gravity Ridge. Looks like his brake lights are on the off-ramp. He's on the bridge right now. Brake lights are on, slowing down. About 10 miles per hour right now.
We pitted him.
Successful?
No, he's still going.
Entering onto the I-15 south here, about 35 miles per hour. Got a pit, 10 pit. Looks like he's all the way down to the carpool lane now, about 30 miles per hour.
Doing another pit. And he's going to spin over here, Brian, so heads up.
I got you.
You can go right into us.
I got you. You just watch it.
Be careful bunching up, fellas. Careful bunching up, because if he TCs,
We don't want a TC.
Spin right into us.
I got you. We're going to have a little warning. I got good
They got
brakes.
passing under Cantu approaching Lemonade.
his rims are disintegrated. Should tell me pretty sure.
Hey, Patrol Black and Whites, I need you guys to fall out.
And if we could block those exits off of 6th and Lime and I just, it is headed that way. If he's down the rim, so we can block all that traffic entering the freeway. Carpool lane about 40 miles per hour now. Wallace McFadden, we got about 70 black and whites in this thing.
I want 2 waves. I want a primary pursuit package backed up by the second wave of ES units. I've got about 7 or 8 with me, and that's plenty right now. And then you guys just support us by running interference behind us.
Only ES units authorized into pursuit. Only ES units authorized into pursuit.
You got
Black
it.
and whites drop out. Black and whites drop out. We have a secondary ES pursuit package behind the initial.
Also 10, all patrol units currently engaged in the pursuit, 1022. All patrol units, black and whites, 1022.
Bearcat 3, are you close?
Crossing under the bridge on 6, approaching second.
Just hit the center divider. Smoke coming out of the tail end here.
Secondary pursuit package, get ready to bail over that wall if he runs. If we get a CHP stop, the northbound traffic.
Where's he at? Where's he at? No, he's still moving.
A lot of night. Just pit over. The truck is still going southbound very slow. Speeds through the center divider, moving all the way over to the right hand side. About 15 miles per hour.
Clear the air. He's brandishing a handgun. He's shooting.
Brandishing and shooting a handgun.
Get ready, buddy. Get ready.
Just TC right under the bridge.
Here we go.
Speed under the bridge.
Suspect is down, cease fire. Hey, hold your fire.
Back it up. Back it up.
Back. Good, back up, back up! Watch your cover! Go your sirens! Are any of our people hit? What's that? None of us got hit, right?
Wall speed. We're above the bridge. Got a visual of the passenger side of the truck.
You're in charge of this team. If he goes that way, you're in charge. Got it.
I need you with your dog.
All the deputies on that side of you are code 4.
Okay, I want to take a look from the Bearcat in there so
Here
we
we go.
can assess that. Here, over here.
Kyle, are you a shooter? No. Okay. Take his. You engaged? Yes. Hey, Brett, you engaged? All right, get over here. Take over at point. All right, you two, go to that column. My dog is gonna push stuff. He's gonna divide the fire like the Bearcat. Did you shoot him?
No.
Yeah, you with us.
We're good.
Back up.
William McKay was eventually found dead following a shootout with law enforcement. According to the autopsy report, he suffered 12 gunshot wounds, including 6 to the head. In total, officers fired 79 rounds during the confrontation. A search of McKay's vehicle revealed the firearm used to kill Deputy Isaiah Cordero, a bag containing a white powdery substance, numerous fraudulently used credit cards, and a membership card linking him to a violent outlaw biker gang. As investigators looked into McKay's background, they discovered a criminal history spanning more than 2 decades. In 1999, he pleaded guilty to assault with a firearm and served 3 years in prison. In 2005, he participated in a violent burglary in which victims were assaulted before money was stolen. He later pleaded guilty to first-degree robbery and 2 counts of assault, receiving a 13-year prison sentence. In 2021, McKay and an accomplice were accused of holding a woman against her will after claiming she had helped burglarize his home. Instead of contacting police, McKay allegedly assaulted her, bound her and her mother with duct tape, and threatened to kill them. The victim eventually escaped and contacted authorities. 2 days later, deputies located McKay in a stolen truck. He fled into the desert, where he and his accomplice were eventually surrounded by law enforcement. Following his arrest, McKay was convicted of false imprisonment, evading a peace officer, making criminal threats, and receiving stolen property. Despite his criminal record, McKay was released on bail while awaiting sentencing. After he failed to appear in court, a warrant was issued for his arrest. That warrant remained active on the day Deputy Isaiah Cordero stopped him for not having a rear license plate. Investigators later learned from one of McKay's associates that he did not want to return to prison. 1 week after his death, Deputy Isaiah Cordero was laid to rest. Family, friends, and fellow officers gathered to honor his life and service. As his family mourned, his parents shared a heartbreaking message. "Our son is gone."
Our son is gone. We hurt so much. My dearest Isaiah, you were taken too soon. And we do not know how we are supposed to carry on without you.
Deputy Isaiah Cordero, ID number 5662, end of watch December 29, 2022. Motor 38, Deputy Isaiah Cordero. Rest in peace. We have it from here.